drinks are on my mind. The decision sets in, one that will churn your skin. The lover's right, let them have their time. And I have this notion, let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. You thought I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I think it's absurd, but until then you'll leave your words. But lay on, lay on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say that you are innocent, but your words, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, oh you have reached your lover's end. No more will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. 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 wanted was love, but that was never enough. No, never enough. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. 'Cause you were chasing your dreams, now you can't redeem yourself. Disregarding your name, your smell is all that remains. They say you're an SLUT, but that doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. I remembered what you'd say. We're all looking to be loved. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Till then, you'll still be a whore. Don't tell me who I have become. Don't tell me who I have become. I remembered what you'd say. We're all looking to be loved. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Until then, we will all be yours. We will all be yours. We'll all be yours.
Good afternoon, race fans. Urbanpyrate here, and we're ready for stint number 4. Stint 3 currently in its last knockings, last lap for the leader certainly. Anyone that's been watching stint 3, they are already spreading right out. There's cars being lapped left, right and centre at the moment. So there's going to be big gaps when we see these guys leaving the pits. It'd be interesting to see if these gaps start to close up a little bit. The leader already over a minute ahead of second place with still 3 stints to go. We're at the halfway point, so still plenty of racing to go. We're going to have 59 or 58 laps really of racing for the next 2 hours here at Bathurst. Tough act to follow though. Obviously Pony Boy is currently doing the stint 3 and he's always a tough act to follow, knows his stuff, him and Jager. Yeah, always going to be tough to follow. Tank Bro is ready to go. His teammate currently in the lead, so he'll be the first to leave. It's all about timing really. Get into your pit box, stop, shout, go to your teammate, and off they go, and make sure you don't jump the gun. There's 2 schools of thought. I mean, essentially, when you're leaving the pits, a lot of drivers tend to change tyres and go, when actually the quickest way to do it is just not to change anything, just to literally just click go and straight out, and you can actually gain a couple of seconds from the handover by doing that. Be interesting to see if some of these teams outside the top three closing up. It looks like Pastina from DCT is doing a really good job of closing down that gap to the car ahead in P3, which is going to give his teammate, who is here somewhere, where is he? We've got to find the DCT driver somewhere. There he is, Zero Fight. He will be in a good position to try and chase down that third place and see how they can do. They've got to use two components. They've got to use the medium tyres at some stage throughout the race. And here we go. Tank Bro is about to come out, and that's the handover number one done. So you can see just how far ahead he is, because it's going to be a while before we see P2 hitting the racetrack. And out goes Tank Bro. Wants to get those tyres up to speed as quickly as possible and get cracking with putting in the lap times. Now, the fastest lap in that last lobby was just over 2 minutes. Is anyone here capable of putting in a 1:59? I know that there is a 1:59 available, I think, here at Bathurst. It's a tricky circuit, but there certainly is a 1:59 available to be had should you find the right kind of pace. You need a bit of slipstream, a bit of help down Conrod to get that going, but there's no reason why we can't see those times are tumbling. And of course, it's sunny when they start this stint, sunny when they end, but we don't know how the weather's going to play throughout the rest of this 2 hour period. So you've got me for the next 2 hours, then I'm going to go and do something more gameful, and then I'll be back for the final stint, running us right through till 10 p.m. But you've got the dulcet tones of me for between now and 6. So Tank Bro out. We're waiting for the next drivers to go in. Now there is drivers going into the pits now, so we should start seeing more cars on the track. Is Wesley next? I can't actually do. I'm looking at the other broadcast on my phone. It's far too small. Can't see a thing. Let's scrap that. I'm old. I've got bad eyesight. There we go. MK. He's out in second. The gap 1 minute 22 seconds. Now, in terms of where that is on the lap, they're both on the straight. Well, actually, Tank Bro is just braking now for the chase. But you can see MK there, just in the braking zone at the top of the hill, moving up towards the cut. So quite some distance to make up for MK at this stage. I've got to try and memorise the teams. I'm probably not going to. As you know, I don't really do that much RX racing. I'm just going to go by their names. I'm like, if I know the team, I know the team. If I don't, I don't. It's too much homework to do for me. Far too much homework. Really tricky. We'll do an onboard lap. We as you know, I like to do an onboard lap. We'll go with Tank Bro now, because he's just starting this this lap. So up the hill you go into the braking zone. Your first big braking zone really of the lap. Turn one is a mandatory break, of course, but the first big break is on. This is the tricky part of the circuit. This is where it can really bite you in this mountain section. Through the cut you go, then you're on the power, but only briefly, because you want to let off here, and let just a little lift just to get it round, get that rotation round and avoid the walls. And here you are literally trying to use every edge of the racetrack you can. It's very narrow, there's nowhere to overtake through the mountain here, so you're using as much of the racetrack as you can. On the brakes you go, changing down through the gears, down to second gear, big changes there as you flick it right and left through those S's. Then again on the power, little blast as you head down to this final forest elbow here. On the brakes again, get this turn perfectly right, get on the power early, and you get a great run down the Conrod straight. And this is where you can really make up some time. If you can get in the slipstream of a car here, it is absolutely brilliant for making overtakes. If you can get this done here, and of course if you've got a penalty, you're going to serve it here as well, which is absolutely brutal. Flicking it to the right hand side before you pick your 150 brake marker, get it changed down first gear again for that rotation. You want to get it round as you're gearing up through that right hander, past the pit entrance on your left hand side, sticking it nice and wide into Hell Corner, and there we have it. Anyone know why it's called Hell Corner? It's called Hell Corner because there used to be a massive tree trunk on that corner, and loads of people get crashed into it and dying, so they took it out. This is actually not, as you might think, anything other than the street circuit. We'll talk about that in a little while. Right, let's have a look at who's joined us in the chat, shall we? Because I haven't looked at that yet. How you doing, Mr. T? Good to see you, man. How is it been going so far? I haven't really had a chance to catch up much. Did a stint for the GTEC race this morning, got them underway. Interesting to see, actually. We've got one or two of the GTEC drivers racing in this as well. They must be absolutely knackered after putting in a stint already around Spain. But we're here now at this street circuit. And it is a street circuit because you wonder when they're not racing around here. These are the streets that the local residents drive on. And they've done quite a good job of accurately recreating the sort of pathways and the houses and stuff. But there is quite a thriving community surrounding this racetrack. Now, the question you're going to ask is, they run 24-hour races, is how do you get in and out of your house? Well, there's a series of tunnels underneath the racetrack that allow residents to move around on race day and get in and out of the circuit complex. Now, the other thing that they have here when they're not racing is very, very strict security controls on the use of speed, shall we say. You have to. I think the speed limit is something like 20 mile an hour on these roads when they're not racing, which surprises me really, considering the first thing you'd want to do when you get out here is surely you'd want to floor it down Conrod, right? But unfortunately, you can't do that, and there's quite heavy fines for those that do. So Tank Pro leads the way from MK. It's 1 minute 31 seconds. DCT's Saro Fight in third. So Pastor Canaldo did a great job closing down on fourth place and has given Saro Fight a really, really good position to be in, because he's now in third ahead of Timlaw from the United States of America. Was he three and a half minutes behind the leaders, so some way behind. Just 1 second separates those two. 33 seconds back to Controller Player. Interesting name. I'm assuming that is his name. I'm assuming he's on a controller as well. It'd be a bit weird. I can't modify it now. I can modify it for the next race. Send me it and I will modify it for the next race, my friend. I'm not that good at multitasking. Yeah, if you send it through on Discord, and I'll modify it before the final stint. Hammers UK, he is in 6th position at the moment, lap back from those top five. Those top five all on, or you've got the top two on lap 4. You've got Siro Fight from DCT and Tim Law, they're on lap 3. Controller Player also on lap 3. Hammers UK on lap 2. Wesley also on lap 2. So already the top 7 really, really spread out. 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes separating the top 7, and we're only halfway through this race. So it'd be interesting to see how much of that gap they can close back up. That'd be quite interesting, if they can at all, or if it opens up even further. There we go, we've got Monata. There he is, Italian driver. He is currently running in 8th place. 31 seconds is his Dutch target up the road, Wesley. He's on lap 2, and also on lap 2 there is a Legicide from the United States. It says Hijack Patty leaving the pits, as is Yeast. Yeast was is fresh off a 90-minute stint in Barcelona this morning, or early this afternoon, so must be pretty tired already, and now he's going to do 2 hours here at Bathurst. Ferrari Pro and the GTMA driver still waiting in the pits. I think the GTMA driver is going to be some way back, because I think there was an issue with a disconnection, maybe. We'll see. That's Eric's Racing Ferrari Pro still waiting to come out. So in terms of cars being up, we can see there that already blue flags are coming out for Yeast as MK goes past him. Blue flags through the mountains. It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare, giving up a position through the mountain for those cars lapping you. My suggestion would be that if you see them coming, is you try and let that overtake be done before you get into the tricky mountain section, or hold off until you get to the Conrod, because it's easy enough in the Conrod to make that move. They get a bit of slipstream behind you, you can pull off the racing line, let them just breeze on through. Yeast running in 11, he's 3.4 seconds behind Hijack Patty, so a bit of work to do for him yet, but we'll start to see what sort of lap times we're getting. Already Tank Pro We can see there he's already in those low 2 minute mark, just under that 2:01 mark. We are waiting to see if we can get to 1:59. I think if you get the right wind, if we get a nice tailwind through the Conrod Straight, I think you can see these cars hitting the dizzy heights of the 1:59s. So Tank Bro currently leads by 1.3 minutes, 1 minute 34 seconds. His teammates in the 3 stints previously done a fantastic job over those 6 hours to give him a really comfortable lead of this race. MK, we've just seen lapping the drivers down in 7th, 8th, all that kind of area. He is trying desperately. A couple of laps ahead now. They're just on lap 6 with Sarafite and Timur just starting lap 5. Only 1 second between them. This is a bit of a battle. This actually is looks like the only battle on the racetrack at the moment. So we'll try and see if we can get some action out of these guys, if they've got something to offer. Tim Law at the moment, his last lap was a 2:03.4 with the DCT driver with a 2:03.5. So not much separating them in terms of pace. The BMW very strong around here, but we know the BMW is a bit rubbish on tyres for the most part. So it's going to be about how well they can manage these tyres and see if they can get a little bit longer out. You don't want to be sitting in the pits for too long if you can help it. This is the view from the back of that DCT motor car, and it's a lovely looking car, isn't it? The GTR. It just looks mean. It looks fast, and they kept the livery nice and simple. A few sponsors on there, but he can see that in his mirror, and the gap is getting smaller. If he can close up now in the mountain, we could see Tim Law making a move down Conrod. He just needs to get right in behind the rear wing of that GTR in that BMW, and BMWs have got an amazing heritage in racing, and he's getting much closer. Gets a good exit out of Forest Elbow, but you can see that Sarafite just a little bit quicker on the power and able to start pulling away. But you can see here now the slipstream taking effect. He's not going to be close enough to make a move this time, but if he can stick with him up the hill towards the cut, we may well see an overtake before they hit the mountain again on lap 6 into the braking zone by the hotel complex. They flick it to the left hand side, hugging that inside line while they get back on the power, heading past the pits, and he's a lot closer than he was this time 1 lap ago. On the brakes into the final corner Murray's, heading down towards Hell Corner, and they've got a blue flag for some cars up ahead. Is this going to play into Tim Law's hands? Is the American going to be able to use that traffic that's going to slow Sarafite a little bit to help him get a bit closer? Now, the last thing he wants is to see Sarafite getting through quickly and then being held up himself. So the ideal here for him now is just to close that gap right up, get right on the back of him and start making some moves. I know there's some people that want to jump in and have a little chat while we're broadcasting, and I will sort that out in a sec. I've got it linked to the Discord. So if you are watching, you want to have a little chat, get involved, have a little talk about what's been going on, fill me in on what I've missed, and talk about predictions for further down the line. I'll get that up and running in a bit. We'll wait for everything to settle down. Once we get to lap 10, we'll start bringing some people in, shall we? Here we go. So it looks like Sarafite just has a little bit of an edge up into the beginning part of the mountain, and the BMW seems to try to reel him in towards the end, but he's not close enough again, really, to make that move. How you doing, Ovich? How you been, my friend? Blue flags still a waving. They're somewhere up the road yet. They're about halfway down Conrod, so not quite time just yet, but they will be hearing from them very shortly. Not a great exit that time for Tim Law, and actually he's going to lose some time here as they head down towards this hotel complex. He's further back now than he was. We will see what we will see. Let's have a little look further down the field, see what else is going on, anything else cracking. Controller player there, he's on lap 6. He's on the same lap as them, 26 seconds back though, some way to go for him. Lap 5 for Hammers UK and Wesley. 11 seconds they're separated by Mornata, the Italian driver. He is 33 seconds back from the Dutchman, with 9 seconds back to Legislide. That's the one. And Hijack Patty, all on the same lap, but separated by some distances at the moment. Yeast there on lap 4. Jaeger, oi, oi, oi. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you and Pony having a good little knit and natter. Yeast, fresh off the back of 90 minutes around Barcelona. 23 seconds to Hijack Patty at the moment. A couple of penalties on those last couple of 206, well, it's not penalties, I'm talking about 206-1 there. So he's significantly slower than Hijack Patty heads. Hijack Patty going to open that gap out. Ferrari Pro 1 lap behind Yeast at the moment. I'm not sure how far. He's not actually that far behind. 20... It's probably about 30 or 40 seconds back from him as it stands. Yeast just going into the mountain now. And there is Ferrari Pro just starting a lap 4. Oh, actually, he's an entire lap behind. What am I talking about? Absolute rubbish. Ferrari Pro on lap 4, just heading up towards the mountain now. He's got 36 seconds advantage over Butaldi, the GTMA driver. Let's go with that. We've already lost someone. I don't know who it was. I didn't see them leave the room, but that's not good for whoever that is, because they're going to have to spend 2 hours waiting before their stint 5 driver can jump in and get them back involved and maybe try and salvage something. So it's good news, of course, for Team GTMA, who were plumb last after some issues in that last race. They now get an opportunity to have a crack at maybe trying to close on Ferrari Pro up ahead. This battle here for third place still raging on. Tank Bro now, actually, it's them getting the blue flags from Tank Bro. So Tank Bro is about to lap the cars in 3rd and 4th. The disparity, I mean, even over 6 hours, the disparity between the team out in the lead and the teams challenging for somewhere on the podium is quite palpable. You wouldn't expect teams challenging for a podium place to be quite that separated in terms of pace. Very unusual. You would have thought that sort of the sort of top 5, top 6 would be on the lead lap there or thereabouts, but Tank Bro absolutely smashing it. 1 minute 40 seconds. He's actually pulling away from MK at the moment. Does have the fastest lap, which he set on lap 7, but he's going quicker still with that bit of slipstream help he's had from these two, from Sorafite and from Timlaw. So now he's got it. Not only is he, over a minute clear, 1 minute 40 seconds clear, he's also got a little bit of a cushion with cars in between. So we've got Sorafite there. He is running in 3rd. He's got Timlaw behind him. Timlaw's closed that gap a lot more after that episode letting Tank Bro through. Where is MK? Because he can't be that much further behind. He's not too far behind them. You can see there he's just heading in, heading up the road to towards the hotel complex as we speak. So it won't be long before he's tacking onto the back of that. So Timlaw really close to the rear wing now of the DCT driver. Because got gifted 3rd really by some brilliant work by Pastor Canara. I love Pastor. He's raced with us many a time in that last race. Did a great job for him, and he's allowed Timlaw just to get right up behind that his teammate Sorafite. Is he able to make a move up the inside here? I don't think he's close enough in the braking zone, but he is certainly a lot closer than he was. 21 seconds back, and looking pretty racy at the moment is Controller Player, the Portuguese driver. He is, oddly, he's about to lap the driver in 6th position. So there is 1 entire lap separates 5th and 6th. So Hammers UK in 6th has got an awful lot of work to do. If he wants any hope of getting that Lexus anywhere near the car in front. His job, I think, is to try and keep that gap, that 6.9 second gap to the Dutch driver Wesley behind him. Controller Player is absolutely on it. 201s, mid 201s. The cars he's chasing down, 203, low 203s there, and 203s there with a bad lap for Sorafite on that last lap. That 205.0 has allowed Timlaw to really close in. How long can they keep Controller Player at bay as he's just about to lap the car exactly 1 place behind him? That's a huge gap, a 2-minute gap there between 5th and 6th position. A bit demoralising, isn't it? If you're in 6th place, the top 5 is potentially within your grasp, and then the guy in 5th just breezes past you to lap you. Unique. I would say I've been called that before. Unique. Right, Tank Bro, he's still smashing it. There's no point watching him, he's going too quick, you can't even see it. MK, valiantly fighting, but I tell you what, I'm wondering if MK might, over this 2 hour period, if you look, MK is in those 202s. Fight 203s, Tim Law 203s as well. This battle's going to rage on. Controller player, down in those low 201s. Is he going to be able to really close a gap on MK? There is a potential second place in this for this team. I could have a look, I suppose, and let's have a look at the spotters guide for. This is the Project Revolution team. I think this guy's name's Widow when he's not controller player. Yeah, Project Revolution. There's a potential top 3 in the mix here because he's significantly faster than Fight and Tim Law for DCT, and Tim Law is the driver for the Clockwork Motorsport team. Significantly quicker than them. He's going to close that gap pretty quickly and catch them probably within about 5 or 6 laps. He's going to see them just there in front of him. But depending if he can maintain this pace, we could very well see MK being caught unless he can keep his. He's just done a 202.0. He really needs to stay in those low 202s to keep that gap as big as it is. I mean, he is sort of a lap ahead at the moment, but controller player is doing a great job at closing that. Potentially over the next 3 stints, we could see the Project Revolution team really close that down. No damage so far. No one's hit a wall yet through the mountain. I think we're all pretty clear. We can have a little look-see, actually. This posh little tool I've got for you. There we go. We can have a little look at tyres and fuel. We don't have to bring up everything else. Don't need all the other telemetry. You don't care which way they're steering, do you? Let's have a little look at how the tyre wear's going. We're 12 laps in for Tank Bro. Pretty much everyone's gone for the Racing Softs to start this stint. And not much wear really all around. The fuel is the bigger issue at the moment, and we're going to see. I think lap 40 is where we're going to start seeing people coming in. I mean, they're 10 laps already, and they've already burned that. I don't know. It's going to be difficult to manage the fuel over the tyres, I think. Who's on the medium tyres? I think I've seen someone on mediums. Maybe not. Maybe it was the driver that's now no longer with us that was on the medium. So everybody at the moment on those soft compound tyres, which makes it nice and easy for them. You might have seen in the chat there. I've got the old ERF logo. I will change that for the final stint because that's the way I roll. So how are we all doing? How are we coping with the long races? Tim Law is still pushing. He's just gone faster than he has all race, but still not able to put Fight under enough pressure. Essentially what he wants to do, he wants to force an error. He wants the DCT driver to make a mistake, particularly through the mountain. You'd be a crazy driver to be trying to chuck your car up the inside and make a move in this section. But what you do want to do is be close enough to that car to make them think about driving defensively, to force them into making an error and gift you what will be essentially a podium spot for Tim Law from the United States of America. Sorry, my daughter was just asking me something. The fact she didn't know the answer to that question is a bit ashamed, actually. Didn't know where I was born. Shows kids don't pay attention these days. Hang on, 1 second, guys. It's alright, she's doing a passport application. Let her off. I thought she was signing me up for something I had no business being signed up for. So Tim Law really close now. He's in that slipstream, not quite close enough to get it done this time. He's got to maintain this distance now, stay within those 0.3 of a second to the Italian, and then maybe when he comes out of Forest Elbow on lap 12, we'll see the overtake finally happen. And this looks like it's the only overtake anywhere near happening on the racetrack. We'll have a run through while he's chasing him down. There's Tank Bro in the lead by some significant distance. MK not far off 3/4 of a lap behind him. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him getting lapped relatively soon. There's Tank Bro there. He's just coming up to the mountain now. MK just in the mountain. So it'll be a couple of laps, I think, to 2 seconds a lap. It's not going to be long before we see Tank Bro lapping the guy in second. That's just insane. Absolutely dominating. We've got that battle there. Tim Law and Sarah Fight. Sarah Fight. Is it Sarah Fight or Cairo Fight? I'm not very good with languages. Controller player. 17 seconds. He's already taken 3 seconds out of the US driver up ahead. Hammers UK. He's 1 lap back. But a significant difference, 6.1 seconds ahead of Wesley. Wesley was in the pits. I'm assuming he was repairing some damage because he's come out. He's 24 seconds behind Hammers UK now. Significantly closer, of course, to Mornata, who's that gap down to 10 seconds. Legislide, 13 seconds back. There could potentially be a battle coming up there. 30 seconds to Hijack Pat here. Not to be confused with New Jack City, but they are cousins, I believe. Yeast is 23 seconds back. And then we've got a whole nother lap to Ferrari Pro, who's getting some blue flags. Who's the blue flags from? It will be from one of these guys, won't it? Let's have a look. Who's the blue flags from? There, Wesley is offering some blue flags to Ferrari Pro, and a GTMA driver is there, still 54 seconds back, also getting some blue flags. That's for MK in second position. Tim Law still hasn't got this job done, still not quite close enough. It looks like Sarah Fight is doing exactly the right thing in the right places. He's making sure that there is no gap left in any of the potential overtaking zones, and that when he gets onto the chase and the Conrod Straight, heading towards the chase, that he is just far enough ahead that Tim Law can't squeeze that BMW past at this stage. But half a second separates these two, and you could probably argue we're spending far too much time on this. Pastina, how you doing? Let's have a little look. I did say I'd interview some guys. Let's have a little look. You see, shall we do? Aya's in there. Let's jump in and get Aya involved, shall we? Give me a second while I turn it on. Aya, can you hear me, buddy? Why can I not hear him? I can't hear him. I see you talking, but I can't hear you talking, which is a little bit annoying. Give me a second. Playing with me settings. Talk amongst yourselves while I work out what's going wrong. I'm in the wrong settings. It would help if I was in the correct settings, wouldn't it? I wasn't in the right settings in the first place. There we go, voice and video. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
How you doing, buddy? So how was that last stint for you? It's grueling, isn't it, through the mountain for 2 hours?
Well, actually, the NVR team did a lot of practice races in advance, so I don't want to say it was just another walk in the park, but we were prepared for it.
Awesome. So how do you feel your teammates are going to get on over the next sort of 2 hours?
I think Ledger's going to do just fine. He's the one who ran our number 2 stint. He maintained a pretty good 11th. I got us up to 9th. Hopefully he can gain and maintain.
Well, I've just realised you're not coming through on the broadcast for some reason. Give me a second. I don't know why that is. Hang on. Let me play with the settings a little bit and try and sort out what's going wrong here. It was working this morning and then it stopped. It's decided to stop working. Why is that not working now? Still good racing there between Timlaw and Sarafite. The Clockwork Racing and DC2 really fighting it out. They're doing a really good job. And why can't we hear you? This is disgusting behaviour. Hang on, let me try this. I'll turn that on. So you try to fix things on the go, you see. It's not the way to do it.
You can't hear me okay though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you clear, but no one else can. they can hear me, but they can't hear you. Maybe it's the output that's the problem. Let's see if that makes a difference. No, that's not making any difference at all. Why is that not working then? Well, maybe I have to re-put it in. For some reason, it's decided to reset itself back to default settings. So we go in there, properties. Ah, that's why. Yeah, found it now. There we go. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. We should hear you now.
Testing, can you hear me?
I think we have got you now. I think we have. Hang on, I'm going to try an output. Right. There. Talk to me, man. Talk to me, goose.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
It's still not. It's telling me you're there, but it's not. When you speak, nothing moves. Can't be that one. I can hear you absolutely fine, but nobody else can.
Wow. Let me see if the crowd is getting on my end.
I don't think it might be. Yeah, if you've got your down as private, it might be refusing to play you to the adoring public. For those of you watching, we're sticking with Timlaw because there is a bit of a fight going on, and no one else at the moment is really in a fight. Controller player, he's closed that gap now. 9 seconds. That was 20 seconds at the beginning of this stint. He's already closed down to that top 4 to 9 seconds. I still think controller player in this car really stands a good opportunity of a top 2. You know, while we're still messing around with these settings at the same time. How's your privacy settings? Fine, yeah. So that should then be that goes there. That should work to there. And if we go to that, if I go to that. Try it out, buddy. No. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on, but I can't get him to talk to me, man. Talk to me, goose. Talk to me. Yeah, well, you can talk to me, but no one can hear what you're saying. So we'll talk amongst ourselves, and I'll translate. So in terms of pace, I mean, how do you feel your pace was in that? Did you really? Because what I found, a lot of people don't like using the mediums for long periods of time. A lot of drivers tend to go in, use the mediums for a couple of laps, and then you can get rid of them. I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I quite like the idea of enforcing full stints on sort of option tyres. What do you think? Absolutely. That's my thing. I think it's down to pace though. I mean, if you're losing 2, 3, 4 seconds a lap, then yeah, it's probably worth it. But you know, with the time loss going in, and maybe what we should do is look at enforcing the tyre change. So once you put this on, you have to run a full stint. You can't just go in and say, right, I've done 4 laps, that's my stint. That shouldn't be sufficient, in my opinion. But there we go. What car are you in? So yeah, so where the GTR, where the fuel tank is in the GTR, it's quite a central fuel tank. So you don't really like with the Porsche, for instance. You'll find with a 911, it tends to be more stable with a fuller tank because the tank sits at the back of the car. So as the car gets lighter, it can affect the balance of the car with a 911. But with the GTR, because it's a very central tank, it stays quite balanced whatever fuel you've got. So as the fuel gets lighter, it really does work quite well in that car. No, the fuel tank sits behind the driver in that 911. Yeah. Which is you'll notice that when you drive the 911, you notice that as the car gets lower, it tends to feel a bit twitchier, and it's just because it hasn't got that additional weight. Yeah, I love that 911. It's a beautiful car. I'll tell you what I do like a little bit more. The new, not the last update, but the previous one when they brought out the new GT3S road car version. I love that car. It sounds so gorgeous. Yeah, I'm just gutted. I'm gutted that they didn't make it a GT3 car. That would have been awesome. I think, but then. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's have a... Yeah, well, it's all about money, isn't it? You know, it's balancing profit with content, and you know, every car manufacturer is going to have a price point they're going to want to price their cars at, the same as the track providers, and some people are willing to pay it and some people aren't. And you will have with some of these as well. They'll sign exclusivity deals with them and say, look, you know, we'll give you a little bit more money for the licensing, but you can't let anyone else have it. Yeah, I think iRacing aside, I think you're probably right. I mean, iRacing is slightly different in the fact that they're able to, because they're a monthly subscription, they generate a much bigger income. So they're able to, and they sell every single car. So I mean, anyone that races on iRacing needs to have very, very deep pockets or a very generous sponsor. Unless, of course, you're only racing Clios on one track. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The work they have to put in to get to the stage where they're earning money as well. It's really difficult, and to be fair, it's fine margins. The margins between being, World Tour driver on Gran Turismo, for instance, and not making the World Tour is hundredths of a second. It's that different. There's a driver that he's a Lithuanian guy. Races with he does racing with us at Black Flag and races with the Lithuanian community. And he made the Olympic qualifiers and missed out on the final by less than 1,000th of a second. 1,000. So that's one apex slightly missed by an inch was the difference between the final and no one knowing who he is. Yeah, you would be, wouldn't you? I would rather be 25 seconds behind. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I couldn't rack out a 202 here. I think I'd probably be looking more about the 205s on my best day, which is why those that can race, those that can't, tell the racers they're rubbish. Right, so we're having a look here at the moment. So we've got controller player, absolutely phenomenal drive from him in that 911. He has closed the gap now on Tim Law from 20 seconds to 3.2 seconds. And it is coming down every corner. There's tenths just being chunked out of it. Very, very soon he's going to be getting in that fight with those two. Now, the thing is, Tim Law has been within half a second of Fight from DCT for 15 laps now. He's finally going to make the move as they go into the braking zone at the end of Conrad. Does he make it? He does make it stick. That's a brilliant little move there from Tim Law. He's been biding his time. 15 laps, he's been half a second behind. Finally gets his opportunity with the slipstream. And what an overtake that was, because he braved it round the outside into the left-hander and held that line through the turn as it comes back round to the right and takes that third position. Now, he needs to get a move on, because if he doesn't, it's not going to be long before we see controller player getting involved and getting on the back of him there. And my daughter's standing next to him with a jar which she can't open. What's that? Your burger pickles. Don't know, just controller player. He is, I'll tell you what team he is, hang on. Hold the line caller. Controller player is... I've got a spotter's guide here. I should have probably learned it off by heart, but I didn't. That's for Project Revolution, the 99-911. So yeah, he's done a really, really good job, because I mean 20 seconds the gap was when they came out of the pits, and he's just been chucking in. I don't know if he is on the controller. I'm assuming you wouldn't call yourself controller player unless you were on a controller, right? Who knows? Yeah. You know, someone was saying earlier that you're always at a disadvantage on a controller, and I think for tyre saving possibly, it's harder to tyre save on a controller. But I think overall, I know some controller players that are hella quick, and yeah, I mean I can't drive on a wheel, to be fair. I can't drive on a controller either. But I obviously I used to before I got my rig, and then it's like I forgot how to do it. And already he's now closed that gap to Fight. He is within 0.3, 20 seconds to 0.3, and he's going to get himself into the top 4. He might not get an opportunity this time round, but on the way up the hill, he's certainly going to have a shot at taking 4th and maybe even 3rd place. And then the question is, can he chase down MK, who's a lap up the road in 2nd? He's certainly lapping faster. MK lapping in the low 203s. We've got controller player currently lapping in the low or mid 201s. So he's a good couple of seconds faster than MK running in 2nd. And if he doesn't catch him, he'll certainly put his teammates in a really good position for stints 5 and 6 to really start closing in on that podium spot. I think we can quite safely say that Tank Bro is gone, disappeared. He's pretty much uncatchable. 1 minute 40 ahead. It would take a monumental cock up of epic proportions to change that, I think, at this stage, or a disconnection. I suppose if someone wants to hot foot around to his house and unplug his internet, it might help. But here we go. So Fight is the first victim of controller player. Here comes the second. We have got Wesley closing in on hammers. I'm going to look and watch that in a minute. We want to watch controller player though finish off this absolute monster charge as he comes up behind And you got feel for Tim Law. He sat in 4th place behind Sorrowfight for 15 odd laps trying to find a way up to 3rd. He gets himself up to 3rd only for the guy that was behind them in 5th to come along and steal it from him. And I think it's going to be a matter of maybe a lap and a half if he's lucky before that changes. They hit the Conrod now. Now, Sorrowfight does have a little bit of slipstream on Controller Player, but he's just so much quicker in and out of the corners. I doubt whether the DCT driver can actually do anything about it. Even if he does get past him, whether he can hold it's another matter entirely. So we've got the Italian chasing down the Portuguese driver, Controller Player, chasing down the American Tim Law, who's turning in now into the hotel section, desperately trying to find some way of staying ahead of Controller Player, chasing him down into Murray's Bend. They go. That's the final corner, heading down towards Hell Corner. Do you know why it's called Hell Corner? It's called Hell Corner because it used to be a tree trunk right on that corner, and loads of people died when they hit it. True story. Yeah, you do mostly motorcycle racing. Actually, banned motorcycle racing because of it. Yeah. So. Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't get everyone else to hear you, but thanks for joining me anyway, and I will try and fix that for the final stint. Catch you later, man. Apologies for that. Couldn't get Aya through to you guys. For some reason, the software reset itself and decided it didn't want to take any words from anybody. So we are watching this chase down now. This chase down from Controller Player, 20 seconds when they came out of the pits, when they started this stint some 22 laps ago. And he has chucked in lap after lap of blistering time. He's got himself up to 4th round Sorrowfight. Sorrowfight, who for so long was running in 3rd place ahead of the US driver. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, there's so many people. There's so many people on the racetrack at the moment. Why are we focusing here? Because this is where the battle is. There is a battle here. We've got Wesley there. He's closed the gap on Hammers UK to 4.8 seconds. This Dutch driver, Wesley, really getting that Lexus singing at the minute. In those high 201s, low 202s. Hammers can't do better than a sort of mid 203. So it's not going to be long before we see that fight turning into something worth watching. And here's Controller Player now, making the move on Tim Law. Into the braking zone they go by the hotel complex, and that move is complete. Bang! He's up to 3rd. What a move there. Now, 4.5 minutes he is behind Tank Bro, who is himself 2.5 minutes, or 2 minutes 20 seconds ahead of MK. He's now lapped MK. MK on lap 24, just heading to the end of Sector 1. Controller Player is 1 lap behind, heading towards the end of Sector 1. So, here's the question. 2:01.1 is the fastest lap for Controller Player, and other than being stuck behind Tim Law for 1 lap, he's been in those mid 2:01s for the entirety of this race. MK hasn't been lower than a 2:03.0. Sorry, I lie, he did a 2:02.9, but he's predominantly in the mid 2:03s to mid 2:04s. It's a couple of seconds a lap. Now we're on lap 24. We've got 30 odd laps remaining, 35 laps remaining. It might not be enough for Controller Player to completely close the gap, but I'll tell you what, when his teammate takes over, the gap's going to be significantly smaller, and I wouldn't count these players out just yet from a podium finish. I think we can safely say that Tank Bro could literally pull into the pits, make himself a sandwich, go and get a drink, play a game of Scrabble, and get back in the car and still be in the lead. He is miles ahead. MK doing a good job, but he's not closing on Tank Bro, and he's going to get caught. There is Controller Player now in 3rd, now just starting to pull away from Tim Law. Tim Law, he got past Sorrowfight after 15 laps of trying, but hasn't managed to pull away from him. So Sorrowfight from DCT still in this fight. Starrowfight is in the fight. Hammers UK is a lap down on those guys, a lap and Yeah, about a lap and a quarter down. But very soon, in his mirror, this is his view. That coming round the bend now is Wesley. He's 3.6 seconds back, and the chase is on. The chase is on as they head down the Conrod Straight. This Lexus absolutely purring in his hands at the moment of the Dutch driver. We'll go through the rest of the field while we wait for that battle to unfold. That's Mornata, the Italian driver, currently in those low 202s. Might also, bearing in mind that that Hammers is in the 203s, might find himself, after catching those 11 seconds he's behind Wesley, and the 3 seconds he's behind Hammers, he could find himself challenging Hammers at some stage as well. So don't count that out just yet. Legiside, similar pace to Monata, going to be difficult to close that almost 20-second gap he's got on lap 22, of course. Yeast is, just as we speak, 1 minute behind Legiside. Yeast for the United Kingdom, chasing down Legiside from the United States. Resistance is catching Timlaw. He is indeed. Where's Resistance? I'm assuming you mean Sorrowfight, yeah? Sorrowfight Resistance? Yeah, he is catching him. You're absolutely right. He is catching him. And actually, Timlaw is not being dropped by Controller Player either. Controller Player, with amazing pace to catch them, just seems to have dropped off that pace a little bit. Interesting. Really interesting. That's a great battle there, currently for third. Wesley there, down to almost under 3 seconds. I do need to go down and see these guys. There's Ferrari Pro. He is on lap 21 of 62.011. So he's got some really good pace. Hijack Patty ahead of him, a couple of seconds slower. So I wouldn't be surprised if that unlaps at some stage. We'll see. We'll see. MK into the pits for his first stop. He's got damage. He made a mistake. Now that is great news for these guys battling for third place, because he's had to go in for repair. It's definitely an unscheduled stop. He certainly had tyres and fuel. Let's have a look at that. Actually, we'll have a look at a little shifty at the tyre and fuel situation for everybody. So there we go. So Tank Pro, you can see there plenty of tyres are still available to him. Just under a quarter of a tank of fuel there. No damage is once this point, and he has dipped. I did ask if it could be done, and there we go. 1:59.990. He hasn't done it. MK had to pit that lap, picked up some damage. He's dropping out to the 204 as well. He's put some more fuel on board. He's repaired that car. He's got those racing softs back on. But the gap now to Controller Player, although it's a lap, it's much less than it was, and it won't be long before Controller Player is closing on the back of MK, and making and trying to off first not unlap. That's the key thing first. He's got to unlap. Tim Law, there he is in fourth. He's still ahead of Cyro, but it's not all plain sailing. You can see that Controller Player now just able to. Controller Player, such a long name, isn't it? Controller Player. You can call it Player. He's 1.8 seconds clear now. Just starting to pull away from this fight. And I tell you what, if DCT have got any big cash money sponsors, they're going to be chucking some money my way, because they're getting a lot of airtime. Are Sarafite and Tim Law. A lot of airtime indeed. So if Liquid Molly who's on that, yeah, why is Liquid Molly on that? Who knows? Who knows? Right, Hammers and Wesley. This is the next battle we want to look at. Let's look at someone else fighting. Because Wesley now close that gap 1.1 seconds. Absolutely phenomenal work to get it that close. And I've noticed that my mic is starting to play. What's going on with this? Playing with the settings. Yeah, I'm at the Wesley Hammers battle right now. You can see there it's down to 1 second almost. It won't be long before it's not battle anymore. It's game over for Wesley. He's for Hammers. Sorry, he's valiantly holding on in 6th position. They've got I think that's a back marker ahead of them. So blue flags will be waving. Into turn 1 they go. Needs to get out of the way because he's really helping Wesley here because he's holding Hammers up. That is not good news for Hammers. Stuck behind. I'm not sure who that is ahead of him, but it's not a great place. It needs to be other. Oh, it's MK. So it's actually not. He's lapping them. So it's kind of odd here because Hammers is held up a little bit. He's going to unlap himself now at MK, which he's perfectly entitled to do. Very dangerous place to be doing that though. You do not want to be trying that move there. And Hammers now in real trouble with Wesley right there involved. I bet you are, Patstina. Yeah, it's squeaky bum time out there today. Squeaky bum time. But Hammers rides that storm. Almost unlapping himself, and it was so close to being a very dangerous situation heading into the mountain. Now the problem is, of course, it is mediums versus. It's not. Oh, hang on, who's on the mediums? No, he's on racing softs. Right, so here we go. Into Conrod we go. That's a great exit from Wesley. He's right tucked in behind Hammers, and he's going to get a really good run in that slipstream. Hammers desperately needs to get into the slipstream of the MK car in front of him, which he's not doing. Trying to, even if he picks up a little bit, just to help him. And it's going to be a breeze for Wesley to come past him before the braking zone. That was very easy for the Lexus driver in the end. And we can see there he's made that move look absolutely well, easy. What else can you say? You see it, look, it just breezes past him like he's not even on the accelerator. And Hammers can do nothing but just tuck in behind and pray for an opportunity later down the line. There we have it. Turn this off now. So now, is Wesley in a position to unlap himself? We're going back. We're going to go back here because controller player now. He is now only 1 minute 20 seconds behind MK, which is what the gap was between MK and Tank Bro at the start of this stint. 1 minute 20 seconds. That's 60, 70, 80, 81 seconds. He is struggling really struggling with pace. You can see there. 204s, 203, 204s. He's a good 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower than controller player. Now, let's do some quick math. We've got 1 minute 21, so that's 81 seconds, essentially. Divide that by 2, that's 40 laps. Divided by 3. If controller player stays 3 seconds a lap quicker than MK, he's catching him in this stint. If he is 2 seconds a lap quicker, he will close the gap significantly and give his teammate coming in stint number 5 a really good opportunity to hit that top 2. I think it's going to be some kind of crazy stretch for Tank Bro. I'm just going bored with him, Tank Bro, to be caught by anybody. He's low 2 minutes. He's hitting the 159s, absolutely cruising. But we will have a look through the rest of the field. So there is damage somewhere down the line. Where are we? Where is the damage? Loads of damage. Look at that. Loads of damage there, front and back, for the GTMA driver. Hitting the wall at the top of the mountain is not the ideal place to. Well, to be fair, if you can go 2 hours around this circuit and not hit at least one wall in the mountain, you're a better man than most, because pretty much everyone will have a foray with the wall at some stage here at Mount Panorama. It's just the nature of this amazing but also brutal racing track. You can see Saro just dropping off the pace of Tim Law a little bit. He's outside that 1 second window and not finding the pace he needs to retake. I say retake, he's not going to retake third, but he's going to retake fourth if he can get it. But at least he's still fighting. There is still a fight going on here. Wesley now already pulling away from Hammers. Hammer's 6.4 seconds to Mornata. That's 3 seconds a lap quicker. I think by lap 30. I think after these guys have gone in, Hammer has already pitted for some tyres more recently. I think Mornata, before he goes in, what happened to which McLaren are we talking about? Where is the McLaren? McLaren. That's not McLaren. That's not McLaren. That's not McLaren. We have had a disconnection, so that could be why we're missing one car. Very early on as well, that disconnection. BMW. That's GTR. That's a BMW. Yeah, I think we've lost the McLaren to. Oh, did they? Oh, retired in stint 2. But we did have 14 cars at the beginning of this race. One did leave very quickly though. Oh, we're tied in stint 2. Someone didn't understand the concept of an endurance race. I see. Listen, it happens. It happens. The thing is you've got a team of drivers, and you need all your drivers to be on the same page, and all your drivers to be able to see out the entire race. And sometimes it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Alright, I'm knocking on wood. Knock, knock, knock. Right. Race leader is miles up the road. No point watching him. MK is getting caught slowly. They weren't that great this morning. There was a few issues this morning getting them up and running. They're all right now, but there was a few issues this morning. I was saying actually, I was talking about what can we do to convince PD to make the servers better. And there's twofold. I mean, one, they've shut down the GTS servers now, so they've got a whole load of servers they're not using, which could be used to give you more. And then you've got the other issues that you know, the reliability thing. So what if they were to say, look, if you want to do events like this, we will give you private servers to use. There is a monthly cost to that private server, and you must be a member in order to use them. But the cost is $5 a month, £5 a month, £2 a month, 79p a race, whatever it is. Now, if they did that, I guarantee you there isn't anybody watching or racing or doing this that wouldn't fork out that monthly fee for better service. If they were guaranteed better service as they are now, then they can go swing for their money. They're not having it. But if there was some guarantee of improved servers, I think everybody would. You see things like iRacing and with ACC that people are happy to fork out money for stable servers. So why not do it on here? And you know, they set up a business model where you can buy credits, but it's not a really sustainable business model for them. They don't sell DLCs. So if they want to really maximise their income from the game, what better way to do it than to improve the quality of the servers and charge a monthly fee, but give much more functionality to league organisers and broadcasters and that kind of thing. So surely the McLaren's not that bad though. I mean, it's not that far. I mean, yeah, you're right. Dominic Kubinski is an absolute beast. But I don't know. Maybe just spell himself control. Yeah. Sometimes it's the only way, isn't it? So there is controller player. He is already 2 seconds closer to MK. Another lap under the belt. We are at the halfway point here. If you don't know what you're watching, this is the Bathurst 12 hour with the Endurance Racing Federation. It's the first event of the year. We are in stint number 4, so well past the halfway mark of the race. Still, though, ahead of us, we have another 5 hours of racing. Luckily, you haven't got me for 5 hours. You've got me for another hour. Then I think we've got the dulcet tones of Jager dropping in to hit you with fact and knowledge and all those great things that he brings to the table. And then I'll be back to bring these guys home with some banter and a lack of knowledge of anything. And hopefully I'll have fixed the problem with the audio by then. But who knows? Maybe I won't. So, into the pits for DCT goes Cyro Fights. He's given up the Cyro Fights at the back of Tim. 1.3 seconds was the gap when he went in. Tim staying out at this time. Wesley also into the pits. To be fair, the tyres are all right. Me personally, I would have stayed out for a bit. You know, particularly because you've got to run the medium tyres, unless you're going to run a full stint on the mediums, which some drivers have done, and certainly can be done. I personally would stay on those softs just for a little while longer, get a bit more out of them, especially while the car's light on fuel. He's gone on to the mediums. Now the question is whether he hasn't fueled, so he's clearly just going to run a couple of laps on these mediums, get rid and go back on the softs. I've made my opinion. I'm not a big fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. I think it should be enforced stints on that you have to run it for an entire stint, a proper stint, not a, oh well, I've been in the pits now, technically, I've used it in one stint. No, you haven't, mate. You've done a couple of laps and then jump back in the pits. We'll see. We'll get a good idea actually, because Wesley's been relatively consistent. So we'll see if he has. Well, what the drop off base is, because it's a 28-second loss just to put those tyres on in and out. If you're pitching twice, you're losing 28 seconds. You don't need to lose 28 to 30 seconds, depending on the pace, of course. So we'll see just how much you lose. There is still the better part of 30 laps remaining in this race. So we're at the halfway point for some of them not so much. Tank Bro, there he is. He is lapping again. That team in 13th place and Control Player in 3rd. Miles ahead of anybody else. Nearly 3 minutes. That's a lap and a half ahead. Well, technically 2 laps. A lap and a half ahead of MK at the moment. MK, 1 minute 17 clear of Controller Player, who is absolutely on fire. He's just about to lap GTMA. He wants to get round him before they get into the heart of the mountain, because he's going to hold him up all the way through here. It's going to cost him significant time. He has been, other than when he was fighting behind Fight Timlaw, he has not dipped out of those 201s. Not once when he's been under his own steam. But this is going to be a poor lap for him. He does move over eventually. I think he probably should have got out of the way a lot quicker before they hit the mountain there. Held him up. He's probably lost a couple of seconds through their Controller Player. You can see already he'd had that gap down to 1 minute 17. It's now to 1 minute 18. So give him a bit more work to do. I wonder how much time he has actually got. There's Tim Law. 35 seconds now ahead of Sorrowful. Sorrowful has been in the pits, so that will make a difference. He's got blue flags coming. Who's that behind him then? Let's have a little looky see. It's MK coming up behind. Sorrowful in pits, not far behind him. There we go. He's going to catch him as they go down. Conrad. Now, here's the question. He's not going to be close enough here to make the move, and neither should Sorrowfight move out of the way. Now, it's difficult for Sorrowfight, but when you're in a race, when you're, if you've got 35 seconds to the car, you find and you've both got the same pit strategy, then, you wouldn't mind so much slowing down, letting the car come through, and really going through the race. The problem that he's going to have, Sorrowfight, is that he is still in a battle with Timlaw. He wasn't that far behind him. Timlaw's still got to go in the pits. He doesn't want to compromise any time at all, letting MK through. MK is he's showing a bit of pace, showing a bit more pace actually. Since he's come out of the pit, he's upped that pace a little bit. He's in the he's pipped into 201s, 202s. So he's clearly responding to the threat from behind. You can see there just how much time player in the Porsche lost. Stuck behind the back marker. 3 seconds nearly of time, 2.5 seconds. That's cost him. So that's that's an entire lap and a half worth of work that he puts in chasing down second place. That's gone stuck behind a back marker. Hammers. He's on lap 32. His next target is there. He's getting blue flags at the moment. We know that. We know that that's coming. Okay. 2:02.1, fastest lap from him thus far. Sorry, by Hammers in the 2:03s. It doesn't look like now he's going to be able to catch him if he's in those kind of times. We know Wesley put on the mediums. He's going to run it for a couple of laps. He's not that. He's half a second slower on, not even that, on the mediums than he was on the softs. So it doesn't make any sense to me that he's not running these two. He didn't just put the fuel on board and run these to the end, because it's a 28-second loss, right? 28 seconds. So let's allow you the you know, we're saying half a second difference. Let's be here on the side of 1 second. So 28 laps would be the difference they need to do. He's got less than 28 laps remaining. So if you're only losing a second a lap, it's not worth going in and changing it out a second time. You might as well have just done a two-stopper, softs and mediums, and just run your race there. Because he's done a 2:03.0 on those medium compound tyres. He was doing 2:02, mid 2:02s on the softs. Strange choice. I think sometimes you're so het up with the fact that you want that extra grip that you don't consider the time losses and all that kind of thing. Maybe that's the case. Maybe I've a lot of confidence sometimes. Who knows? Let's have a look at the guys back. Shall we? Was that MK just getting it all wrong? GTMA Boutalbi, the French driver, not having the greatest of days. I would say it's that Mercedes-Benz, but it's not, because he's in one and he's not having any problems at all. He's got another blue flag. That'll be for Tim Law behind him. Tim Law saying, "Get out of the freaking way, man! I want to get through. I'll be chased down by another driver." He's chasing down, but he's not moving out of the way as yet. Oh, there we go. He does slow down. Ferrari Pro, some way up the road. He's like 4 minutes up the road. He's a minute 17 behind Yeast. It's a lonely place. 2 hours. When the only cars you see are the ones that are lapping you. It's lonely, man. Yeast. As I said, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Oh, get it all kinds of wrong. Oh, who was that? That was Hijack Patty. Get it all kinds of wrong. Let's see what happened to him. And that was actually for track position as well. That was for track position. He was ahead of Yeast. And what happens here? Oh, he just overcooks it. Catches the grass. Tries to save himself. Almost does. But no. Doesn't happen in the end. And that was actually for track position. So Yeast gaining there on Hijack Patty. Up to 10th position for him. And he's named after my least favourite, my most favourite infection. Of all the infections, it's the one that I'm least bothered about. 1 minute 21 to Mornata, the Italian, in that BMW. He's 34 seconds on the left side. Lap-wise, he's been doing nothing consistent really for the last few laps. He was nicely in the 2:02s for a while, but has struggled to find a bit of consistency over the last laps in terms of time. Unless, of course, it may well be that I think he might pit actually, puts on the mediums and pits again. This Hijack Patty, he's got to repair. That's enough damage there to warrant that. That gives Ferrari Pro a little bit of impetus. He's on those medium compound sides. He's going to go in now and change them out. Hijack Patty still needs to run the mediums. Now, does he? This is where you put the medium tyres on and you just race to the end. I think anything other than that, and I think you're no, he's not. He's gone for the soft compound tyres again. I don't think that's the right call because he still has to run the mediums. And if that's the case, then well, does he? Does he have to run the mediums? Maybe he doesn't actually. I've been lined up now already. Well, we'll see. Controller player into the pits for the first time. He's run those ragged Timlaw. Is back up into third. albeit only briefly, because it's still, excuse me, almost briefly, because he still needs 2 pits. We are 36 laps in. Exactly, 36 laps into this. They're going to come in at the end of lap 59, sit and wait for their teammate to go. That's how Hanover works simply like this: is they drive into the pit box and stop. They say go, 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 go over whatever comms or whatever medium they use, be it, you know, whether they're beaming it telepathically or carrier pigeon, whatever it is, to their teammate, and their teammate then exits the pits and disappears off up the road with little fuss. Right, Tank Bro still leading, MK still second. Tim Law back up to third, but he does still need to pit. Controller player, who's he being lapped by now? Is he being lapped? Is it him getting the blue flags, or is he blue flagging someone? He's getting the blue flags. Can't work out what's going on here. The tank was there. Where are those guys? Other end of the racetrack. Can't see who it is. It's causing these guys to have a blue flag. It's not Hammers, certainly. There's no one else there. Oh, there's MK tucked in. I didn't see MK tucked in there. So MK tucked in there behind the DCT, coming around. I think it's once already. So that's lap 36 for MK. They're on lap 37 for MK. Lap 36 for Tim Norton. Through he comes. That's exactly what again. That's a second time being lapped. Tim Norton into the pits now. The gap to control by 30 seconds. He will come through and take the lead of this race. Will he stay on those mediums? I think, you know, it would be incredibly to not stay on them right through to the end of this race. The time is just not. It doesn't justify it. He's also getting a blue flag for MK, but he's quicker than MK. So he's. I think he's unlapped. I think actually what he's done. I think he's unlapped himself. I think controller player has actually unlapped himself. If we're looking, because he was over a lap behind. So he's unlapped himself. This is where it gets confusing. So we'll go on board with MK. We've got MK here. So MK is on lap 38. Behind him is Sarafite, who's in 4th place on lap 36. Controller player on lap 37 is ahead, just up the road. Just up the road there. He's now unlapped himself. So already that gap is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'll tell you what, I still think with the pace that controller player has been showing, that MK he might be seeing the car in front of him now. I think he'll be seeing him in his mirrors in 10-15 laps time. What are we looking at? A couple of seconds a lap. Although he has upped the pace a little bit in that GT3 RS. So he has upped the pace a little bit, MK. He's dipped into 201, he's in those 202s. Controller player. He came out of the pits 230. Now, it'll be interesting to see what he does on medium compound tyres, because that's going to be key as to what sort of pace he's got. Now, bear in mind that MK will still need to use medium compounds at some stage. So he's got a 28-second pit stop still to do. And that's assuming that he does one lap on the medium compound tyres, just one full lap on the medium tyres. So he's going to lose whatever time he loses in that tyre loss, but he's also got that 28 seconds. So I think we can see that it's 2 minutes at the moment, just on the money. He's going to keep getting a blue flag. It's going to be really annoying for him. He's going to keep getting blue flags, but MK is actually not catching it. 2:02.0 on that last lap, and a lap before, very, very close. 102nd difference there. Control player 2:02.3, so he's off the pace a little bit. That's actually MK a little bit quicker now on those soft compound tyres. Controller player staying on the sensible thing to do is stay on the mediums, I think. It's going to force Sorrowfight to have a think about when he does it. If he can maintain this pace, these low 202s on those medium compound tyres, and keep MK behind him, obviously he can't block him, he has to let him through, he's being lapped. But if he can keep him behind him, he might be able to do something. But we'll see. We'll see. It's all dependent on the pace he can churn out on a regular basis on those medium compound tyres. And of course, when MK decides to himself to put on a medium compound tyre, bear in mind he's going to lose, let's say 30 seconds when he does so. So he's still going to have, he's going to be pretty much on the same lap. They're on the same lap almost. He's getting there, he's talking about. Right, about Wesley and Hammers, those guys had a battle earlier. More blue flags back there for them. That is from who? It's not going to be Tank Bro, is it? Yeah, it's Tank Bro. He's coming through to lap them again. He's on that 41. It's not long actually. He's going to be finished long before anybody else is. Long before. I suppose the benefit of the sometimes start earlier. And yeah, it is what it is. So it's weird, isn't it? Because for the drivers, wherever you started and however long you were, you know, when you were first. Bear with me, I've got to put in my food order. Haha, getting curry, how about that? How about that then? Well, Mrs. Buy me a curry. Lovely jubbly. The order going in now and should be delivered in time for me finishing here. Perfectamundo. Believe you me, right, I haven't had a curry for ages and I'm going to enjoy it. And if it comes and I'm still broadcasting, you're not going to have to listen to me eating. I don't care one little bit, even if it makes you hungry. Yeah, so Tank Bro is just miles ahead. Now, as I was saying, so for every driver here, they're going to do their 60 laps. They're 59, 58 racing laps. For us broadcasters at this stage, we're doing closer to 70 laps because if you think you've got Tank Bro there, he's on lap 42. He's going to be finished in 18 laps time. We go all the way down the field here to 13. Remember, there we go. He's on lap 34. He's almost only just past the halfway point, just like lap 35 now. He's still got 25 laps to go. So by the time the broadcast is finished, we would have actually seen a lot more laps than the 60, because Tank Bro will finish. That'll be the 60 laps. And then we'll have the 25 more laps that this guy's still got to do at the end of 42. So he's so 7 more laps essentially. Maybe more than that by the end of the race. Maybe 8 more laps. So yeah, close to 70 laps by the time we finished. And of course, interesting, isn't it? Maths, brother, maths. Right, MK. Is he under pressure now? It's Tim Law about to unlap himself. There is Sorrowfight, he's in 4th. He's 3.7 on controller player now, 5.5 ahead of Timber. He has actually unlapped himself on MK as well. So he's in 203.4 on those racing softs. Controller player 202.5. He's in the 202s on the mediums, so he is still going to keep catching MK. Sorrowfight, he's in the 202s as well on those racing softs, ahead of Timlaw at the moment. Timlaw with the 203s also on the racing softs. We've had enough information on tyres, you don't need any more. Hammers UK 203s, but it's interesting that you see MK there. MK is slowly getting unlapped by these cars, so his teammates will be kind of willing this race to finish as quickly as possible. Still 19 laps remaining for MK, just 17 for Tank Bro out in the lead. Anywhere else? Is there a battle anywhere? Come on, there's got to be a battle on this racetrack somewhere. Someone somewhere's hamming it out. Surely. The answer to that question is fundamentally not. The only real battle on the racetrack at the moment, potentially, we've got Mornata there. He's in those low 202s, high 201s. Wesley now, yellow flag. Yellow flag is for who? Who crashed? Someone's crashed. Can't see who it is. Should have put a marker in ready and I could have found it. Someone crashed or hit a wall or something. The yellow flag's gone now anyway. But there we go. So yeah, we're looking here. So we got Mornata, who is running in 8th, 201. 7th fastest lap for him. Just put that in on lap 35. In those low to mid 202s. Wesley is 8 seconds up the road. He is in the he's done low 202s, but he's dropped into the low 203s. So potentially we could see Mornata close that gap on the back of Wesley and have a potential battle there. So I was just reading the chat, and they're having a row about the 800 credits for the oil change. Hammers is 10 seconds ahead of Wesley, but Wesley slowly closing that gap again. If you remember rightly, that Wesley opted to run the medium compound tyre. It was what Wesley ran the medium compound tyre for a short period of time, and then come back out again. I personally, I don't understand it. It's not, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Controller player is he's running those mediums to the end, and I think that's the right choice. I think it's absolutely a bang-on strategy in that 911. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Zorify. Not really going to be under any pressure from him, and he's slowly catching Monkey, closing the gap on MK. 1 minute 53 seconds. Bear in mind, MK still has to pit for those medium compound tyres. That's another 30 seconds. That brings it down to. I think the controller player is going to be 18 laps remain for him, 17 for MK. What are we looking at the moment? I think it's about they're pretty similar now in terms of lap times, with MK being on those racing softs. So I think. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile staying on the mediums. I think if he goes in on the pits, yeah, he is going to be quicker on those softs. But I think the 28, he's going to lose that 28 second. He's only going to gain those 28 seconds on the road or in the pits anyway. So he's going to be within a minute of MK. Easily within a minute of MK. Probably on certainly on the same lap as him for the most part. By then, he's not too far off that situation now. To be fair. See there, MK. Yeah, just be over. It won't be long before these guys are on the same lap. Who else was that? Who's that in there? That's Tim Law, who is closing down on the back of MK, potentially to unlap himself. It's gonna be a difficult move to make because, of course, unlike lapping, with unlapping, there's no obligation for them to let you through. It's unsportsmanlike to block you, particularly if you're not racing for track position, but certainly they're under no obligation to come off the racing line, move out your way, slow down, or any of those other things you would do when you're being lapped. MK can literally just say, "You want to make the move? You're going to have to do it under your terms, mate. Chuck it up the inside when you dare, or around the outside if you feel that you can make that work." Apologies for the shadow in the background. Right, Tank Bro's still leading. The gap is insane. It's a couple of laps now. Lap 45. Nobody else even close to Tank Bro. MK is holding on in second, but the gap has been eaten into significantly by Controller Player and Sarafite and Timlaw. All of those closing down on MK, and he's really going to be relying on his teammates in stint 5 and 6 to rescue him and maybe open up that gap again, if of course he can. They can. Hammers UK. He's lap 41, so he's a couple of laps back. He's getting more blue flags than him. He's a couple of laps back from that top 5 on lap 41. Wesley on the same lap as him. They're racing each other. Wesley had caught him once. Will he catch him again? Monata also on lap 41. 16 seconds separates those 3 cars. So quite easily, and you can see Monata there with a good pace in those low 202s. As Wesley actually in a similar pace. So Hammers is going to need to find probably 1.5 seconds a lap to keep those guys at bay. He will get caught eventually. Legiside is a lap, almost a lap back, about half a lap behind them. But he's in no man's land. He's absolutely got the road to himself. 43 seconds ahead, 50 seconds behind. It's essentially a time trial for him. The only time he's ever going to see a car is when he's being lapped or he himself is lapping. Yeast, everyone's favourite beast. 49 seconds behind Legiside. Again, very similar position to Legiside. He got around Hijack Patty a couple of laps ago when Hijack hit the wall. He said high wall rather than hijack. And the wall said, give me some of your car crunch. And that led to Hijack having to go into the pits. Yeast is lapping in those low to mid 203s. Hijack is quicker. So he's got some work. 24 seconds is the gap. But he is quicker, so he has got the opportunity to close that gap. Ferrari Pro, lap 40. 12 minutes off the lead. A couple of minutes behind Hijack Patty, then about a lap behind. And then a lap further back with, excuse me, more blue flag misery is the GTMA driver, Brutal Blee. On board with your race leader as he crosses the line for lap 47, leaving him with just 13 laps of racing to go before he completes his stint around the Bathurst. Uncatchable is the word they will use to describe this, and it's been pretty much uncatchable from the moment he started. It was already a minute and a half clear when he got into that car and took over from his teammate, and now finds himself significantly further ahead. And that he's added another minute and 40 seconds to that lead. On board with MK, who's started to find some pace in those 201s. He clearly could see that Controller Player was closing, starting to find a little bit of pace now, and able just to so I think it's since Controller Player unlapped himself that MK has kind of found himself looking at the back of the car he had previously lapped, and knowing that he's got to try and chase him down, or certainly the car in third and B had previously lapped. So he's looking at the back of that car, and it's giving him a little bit of impetus, and he's better, he's faster than he has been. That was, I think, his fastest lap so far. MK, yeah, 2:01.8 for him. So he's actually closing again on Controller Player, and opened the gap out to 1 minute 54 seconds. Of course, the only problem, big problem, of course, is that he still needs to run some medium compound tyres. Controller Player, there he's in third. He's 4.2 seconds. Sorry, you can see there's loads of houses. He's making a little children's playground somewhere along it. For the local residents to play. Well, not all residents, just there's Sarafite. Can't really go for the mountain. He can't see Controller Player. He will be able to see him when they hit the Conrod though, which is well, actually, who will see first? We'll see MK before he sees controller player. Controller player is ahead of MK at the moment, but they're not too far up the road. They're just coming through Forest Elbow as Cyrus Fight goes into it. Out he comes. As he rounds this bend, he'll see in the distance, that's just up ahead. That is the back of MK, and over the crest of the hill is a controller player who he is currently racing against. He's ahead of Tim Law. Won't be able to see him there. He's a little bit too far ahead for that to be seen at the moment. Tim Law can't see the back of that car. In terms of lap times, 2:04.8. That's not sort of the lap time you want to be putting in if you're chasing down top 3, top 4 position. So they're all on lap 45. That's controller player, Fight, and Tim Law. Lap 44, 1 lap back. That's Hammers UK and Wesley. They've got their little battle going on, and Wesley again has closed that gap 4 seconds. He closed it once he caught him. Excuse me. He put on a couple of. He put on the mandatory medium tyres, rather for a couple of laps. Sorry, now chasing down Hammers UK again. He's got 4.1 seconds to make up. He's about a second and a bit lap faster. So with 14 laps remaining, he should. No reason. 15 laps remaining. There's no reason why he shouldn't be chasing Hammers between now and the end of this race. Wesley. There he is in 7th. We were just watching him. Mornata. 8.7 seconds. He's putting in some really, really blistering laps at the moment. And closing slowly on the back of Wesley. Could potentially a 6th place be on the cards for him. If he catches Wesley and they catch Hammers, there could be a 6th place on the cards for Mornata, which would be great for his team. A couple of places gained for them. Legiside. Blue flags out for him in 9.47 seconds. No man's land for him. Can't see anyone in front. You can see someone behind, but that is a car that will be lapping him. Yeast. Not to be confused with yogurt. Yeah, 48 seconds to Legiside. Not quick enough really to close that. But certainly quick enough for Hijack Patty to be wondering whether he can catch him. 24 seconds. Is what Hijack Patty has to make up. He's about a second a lap quicker, the give or take. So if he can maintain that on average, I think by the end of this race, his teammates are going to be within 10 seconds of East and his team. Ferrari Pro back on lap 43, and then excuse me, 2 lap gap back to I don't know how I try and pronounce his names. I can't do it. We know I can't do it. So Tabro with the fastest I think of the day with that 59 and 9. I don't think anyone's going to be quicker than that today. Surely not. That's a phenomenal time. MK there with again controller player still up ahead of him. That's they're racing each other, but actually they're racing each other the other way around. So it does look a bit confusing. Third's ahead of second, but that's because he's almost an entire lap ahead of second as it stands. Controller player with a 2:02.2, MK with a 2:03.6. So another 1.4 seconds in deficit. Right, let's get back out to this view out here. So what do you need to drink? I've got some. I've still got some. So we had a bit of a fight at the beginning here. Certainly the first 20 laps there was some exciting fighting going on. All died a bit of a death, and people kind of spread out a little bit, which is to be expected. Particularly when you've got such a dominant driver, Tank Bro, and the team itself, to put him in that position of extreme dominance anyway. But to be that dominant and that far ahead, it's always going to be a good job for you. And a hard job for anybody else to even get close or even think about getting close. We've got about... I'll be with you for another 20 laps or so. We've got some back markers that need to get involved, so 20 laps or so for that. And then you will be joined by the dulcet tones of who? I've forgotten who's next. Oh, Jaeger. Love a bit of Jaeger. Is it Jaeger or Jaeger? I always get it wrong. He'll be jumping in. In fact, his lobby will be open shortly. About 10 minutes' time, you should start seeing the lobby getting full. People jumping in. Because Tank Bro is now on lap 50. Just 9 laps remaining for Tank Bro. And then Jaeger will be taking over the shenanigans for at least first place for a little while. MK there again, a little bit slower than controller player. The time difference not so much anymore. Now player is on those soft compound tires, medium compound tires. Remember there is still a 28, 29, 30 second pit stop for MK to get rid of his mandatory medium, which he's going to need to put on and then lose. We didn't need to lose them, we could finish racing if we wanted to do. But he does need to put them on the car, and he does need to do a racing lap in them. So as I said, Jaeger is going to be with you in about 10 minutes. The new lobby should be starting around then, which is when we'll start to see the handovers. And then I'll be back a couple of hours after that, just before 8 PM, with all the action that runs us in to for the final 58 racing laps here at Bathurst, depends on what for. It really depends where in Australia or where in England you're from, whether you call it Bathurst or Bathurst. Me, Bathurst. Although I have heard it referred to as Bathurst, so anyhow, Mount Panorama, shall we say. Who have we not? There's not been much love at the back here. I mean, to be fair, there's not been much going on at the back here. Still, there's damage on the front of GTMA car. I think he's decided not to bother pitting. He's 15 minutes off the leader, and some 3 minutes behind Ferrari Pro. So that's been lapped by the guy just up ahead. There's 2 more stints remaining. And there's still 4 hours of racing. We don't know how quick those guys are, if they've got the pace. They may have superior pace, superb driving skills, and be able to move it up the order. Right, MK into the pits for those mandatory tyres. And back out he comes on those mediums. Now, I'm assuming that he's going to run to the end of the race on those tyres from this point. That he's not going to just put them on and come back in and put on some softs. That would be suicidal to do that. But the gap is still showing 1 minute 53 seconds, which doesn't make any sense at all. Because the gap had come down significantly. And the controller player has stayed out on the mediums. And we'll see actually what sort of pace MK's got. So he's on lap 50. He's getting blue. Is he getting blue flags from Tank Bro? I think he is, you know. Is it MK or is it... I don't think it's MK getting the blue flags, actually. I think it's whoever's ahead of him on the racetrack, which is... it'd be him getting the blue flags for him at some stage. There is MK. There is Tank Bro. It's Tank Bro. Tank Bro's coming up behind MK. He's got to get past Yeast first, which he dispatches Yeast with the ease of dispatching bread. And then he's going to get on to the back of MK and lap him again. It's ridiculous. It is. Look, I love, I love broadcasting these races and stuff, but you've got to say the disparity between first and second here is ridiculous. And over the course of 6 stints, they're going to be like 20 odd laps ahead. Tank Bro's on lap 52. He'll be on lap 53. He'll be 3 laps ahead of this guy in a minute. He's currently 2 laps ahead. He's going to pass him in 2 or 3 corners, doing a steady 2 minutes. And then he's going to be 3 laps ahead of the dude. And to me, that just seems, from the perspective of the guys following Tank Bro into the car for stints 4 and 5 and 6, they're going to be over the moon. They've got very little work to do. They know that the closest person to them is 3 laps behind. They can afford to take it easy and take their time and do what they've got to do. But from MK's perspective, and certainly from controller player, you see the gap there down to 1 minute 21 seconds. It must be so demoralising to think, well, how are we ever going to get the top step of the podium? You know, when by the time we get to the midway point of the race, you know, the teams are already a minute and a half, 2 minutes ahead of you. Is what it is, I suppose. That Bathurst racing, I suppose. Maybe additional lobbies, maybe two, running 2 consecutive lobbies for different paces. I don't know what the answer is. Tim Law, 6.1 behind Sorry. He's putting in some good times now and actually starting to close on the back of the Italian. The Italian he spent so long trying to get past. Finally did get that job done, only to find himself back behind him yet again with some work to do. Wesley past Hammers yet again, up into 6th place. He is some way at the moment. He's 1 lap down from Tim Law, 1 lap and some, 1 lap and another 1/2 lap behind him, with some significant work to do. Hold the line, call. I'm just checking. Yeah, I mean, Tagbro's, yeah, he's got to pit another time, but he's still 2 laps ahead, mate. He's still 2 laps ahead. It's insane. Jaeger is in bomb, yeah? Jaeger. Yeah, he should be in the lobby soon, actually. Hammers UK. There he is. Tagbro, we know Tagbro's got to pit again. Is he going to go for the try and beat that 59 line? That'd be insane if he beats that. He's coming up. When's he going to do it? Well, he's going to need to pit because he got no fuel left. He's going to have to fill up that tank, bro. So he's around that GTMA car yet again. In second is MK. The gap, controller player, 1 minute 19. That 99 car has been absolutely phenomenal, without question, or 99A, as it says there. Absolutely phenomenal. This race, chased down a 20-odd second gap on Tim Law and Sarah Fight, dispatched them with the greatest of ease, and has been slowly eating in to MK, despite the fact he's actually run a proper full stint on the medium tyres, as a good boy should, and been significantly faster. He's put his teammates in an absolutely brilliant position. MK on those medium tyres is in the high 203s is MK. It's almost 2 seconds a lap again. Controller player is faster now, with just 7 laps remaining for these guys. That's another 14 seconds closer. It's going to be within the 1 minute mark, not far off that 1 minute mark for his teammates, if his teammates have got this pace. Second is not nailed on. First, nailed in, glued on. It would take a mass disconnection or a zombie apocalypse to, in fact, the zombie apocalypse would have time to take off now before they'd finish this bloody race. He's going to fill up his tank, bro, and then come back out way in the lead. The battle for second's still on. MK's still in it. Controller player's still in it. Don't count out Sorify or Tim Law. They're only it's 11 seconds between Tim Law and controller player in third, and controller player very much in the running to put his team on that second step of the podium, or closer to the second step of the podium. So it's only a couple of tenths a lap for DCT, and for the Americans team, which is Clockwork Racing Team. Clockwise Racing Team. I think it's Clockwork Racing Team, who will be they need to find a couple of tenths, and they'll be right on the back of the control player in third. So this still is a battle for third, essentially. This, I think, is definitely a battle for third. With MK there's a battle for second, with 4 cars involved in it. Wesley and Hammer's pretty close together. There's still some fighting to go there between the teams, with Mornata also involved. That's a 3-way potential And not one of those happy for three-ways where you come out of it with emotional baggage, but some bragging rights, but the kind of three-way where you are racing two other cars. Let's decide. Well, you say about it, it's peaceful. It's peaceful there for the NVR team. So the leader is in the pits and back out again. Yeast is coming up to lap again, GTMA car. Tell you what, hats off to Yeast, because after the end of this race, this will be with a pretty short break, in all honesty. You know, you get a 90-minute stint at Barcelona for G-Tech, which I broadcast, and then in the time it took for me to get a drink, something to eat, go to the toilet, have a quick smoke, get set up, sit down, he's come and done another 2 hours here at Bathurst. And Bathurst is grueling at the best of times, even when you're at your freshest, and of course in two completely different cars as well. So it's not like he's used the same car for both races and it's been you got used to the car and what have you. He's had to really put a shift in. So good on him for keeping his team in the running there in 11th place. And of course, he got past Hijack Patty, who is running in 11th place at the moment, quite comfortably in 11th on lap 51. Ahead of Road Pro, who's 2 laps back from him. And of course, another lap back there is the GT8 driver. So Tank Bro on lap 56 is not long before we're going to see a handover. MK is on lap 54, a bit longer for them. There's controller player 1 minute 17. He's did a 2:02.0 in that last lap. MK with a 2:03.0, 1 second a lap. So he's arresting the gap a little bit, but certainly not enough to feel comfortable. Of course, they know who's getting in the car next. They know what their pace is like, and it could be that the next person in the car is super quick, and MK's done the right thing and just kept his car in second. Fight and Tim Law currently running 4th and 5th. They were at one stage 2nd and 3rd and 4th, and it was a decent battle for third. But controller player got very much involved, said you're having none of that. But they are still very much in this fight. Tim Law's closed the gap a little bit on Fight. Fight a touch on controller player. So just 10 seconds now separates this battle for third. 2:01.5 on the board. Fastest lap in the race for Tim Law, which was only a couple of laps ago. So he's still clearly got some pace in that car. There are a few cars still need to put on medium compound tyres, I think. I'm trying to work out who hasn't done it yet. Well, I should really have like a little thingy for it. And when a player runs their medium tyres, I get it like a little good little boy. So I haven't been doing that. The Wesley Hammers Mornata scenario. Well, Mornata now closing on Hammers, 3.6 seconds. 2:01.7 his last lap. Hammers with a 2:03.7. Mornata, this could be actually a battle we see that's done and place gained before the handover, which is going to be in about, well, the handovers will start. Where's Tank Bro now? He's only got a couple of laps left, about 4 minutes before the handovers start. For these guys, a little bit longer. You're looking at still about sort of 2 minutes a lap, so 7-8 minutes. But you can see Tank Bro there in behind Hammers. Hammers needs to get out of the way quickly, but of course Hammers is being chased down himself by Mornata. You can see here. Let's get a nice good view. Let's go with this one here. As the chase down begins. Who's that off the racetrack? That's Howell! What happened to Hammers? Can we get a little marker in here and see what happened to him? Now, did he move off the racetrack to let Tank Bro through, and has that cost him dearly? Has that cost him dearly? Let's have a look here whether he makes a mistake or whether yeah, he did. He actually made a mistake. He didn't intend to do that. The pressure from Tank Bro got too much. He's got damage as well, so that's allowed Mornata through. That's devastating, absolutely devastating. Because he was going to get caught. there was no doubt about it that Mornata was getting closer. The Italian driver was really starting to put pressure on that Lexus. But it would have been a couple of laps before Hammers had to think about it. It would have been at a time when the tyres started to go off, the fuel is low, you're thinking about making it to the end. So anything could have happened. That's really cost him. Luckily for him, of course, Legiside is some way back, but definitely cost him a position. And it's, you know, you do 53, you're doing a 59 lap race, 58 lap race, and you're holding your own and you're holding your position. He's lost one to Wesley already early on, and he's holding on and he's trying to do for his team and trying to keep them there in that position, and it just didn't work out for him, and they find themselves with some work to do in the final 2 stints. So there we have it. So there, that battle done. I thought we were going to see something a little more exciting than a crash, but alas no. Now, does he pit now? Does you know? It's 45 seconds to the car behind. Now, here's the big risk. If he goes into the pits, we know it's going to cost him 28, 30, probably 35 seconds to repair, which puts Legiside within 10 seconds. But how much time is he going to lose with the damage? We'll have a look now. If he's going to lose 3 seconds a lap, it might be worth going in. Why is Slipstream joining this room? Slipstream racing in this as well? No, he's not. He's in the wrong room. That's what he's in. He's racing in the GTEC IRO Bathurst race, which is currently going on elsewhere in the Webiverse in Spain. His Sector 17 were in the lead when I left at the end of stint 1. Some way in the lead as well. Absolutely dominant performance from them. 25 seconds or something. He used to be one of our drivers, but he's not anymore. He now races for Sector 7. Yeah, he's a Sector 7 now. Ex-BFER. Oh, still good friends. He's still in our Discord. We're still good friends. Yeah, he's left us rolling. And to be fair, Sector 7 have borrowed one of our drivers as well for their second team, which is something else I'm going to get onto. I think I've said this on the podcast for the sake. I think if you have 14 spots available and you have 20 or 17 teams sign up, I think that individual teams should get priority over second teams. So, you know, if there are 14 spots and 14, and you know, there are 12 teams enter and they want to enter 2 teams, I think that's fair game for those spots. But I think if you've got more than 14 different teams, more than you know, if you've got 12 different teams enter and some teams want to enter 2, I think those alternative teams have to wait for unique teams to get a spot. Because I mean, Black Flag have you know, significant training for. It should be up now. Black Flag did significant training for that GTEC, and on the day of the qualifying, one of our fastest driver couldn't make it. He got stuck at work, and we missed out by just 1/10 of a second to qualifying, finishing 15th. And there are teams in there. There are teams in there running 3. One team's running 3, one team's running 2. There's a couple of teams running 2, and then that driver has now gone. He's not left us permanently, but he's driving for one of the second teams as a replacement to one of their drivers. Now, had he, I don't know. I know how I feel about it. It is what it is. Right. So, Tank Bro, me having a little moan, just filling in the gap with a little whine, like a little whiny bitch. That's Tank Bro. He's coming round to complete what will be lap 59 for him, and he'll pull into the pits and he'll sit in the pit box, and away on part 5 will his so very soon it should be up now, because the race is about to start in lobby number 5, so I hope it's up already. I'm hoping Jaeger has got that up and running. So Tank Bro, as soon as he hits the pit box here on those medium compound tyres, and in he comes. No. Come on, son. Get in the pit box. In he comes, and stop. And it's go for his teammates across the way there. It's bye-bye to Tank Bro. He is done. MK, a few minutes yet, a couple of laps left yet for MK. The gap now 1 minute 15 seconds for controller player. He has been significantly faster, although now they're matching pretty much lap for lap in these final stages here at Bathurst. If we look all the way down the field, though, of course, we've still got many left to go. So Tanquo's going to have to sit there while these other cars come all the way around and catch up. Long time to wait, innit? A long time to wait. Very long time. So I'm not going to be eating my food until about midnight, approaching. I'm going to get about an hour's break. You know, enough time to eat. So MK's got one more lap to go after this, and then he can pull in the pits, and his teammate can disappear off. Be interesting to see if that gap does get closed. 3 minute 41 second gap. That's absolutely phenomenal performance from Tankbro. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to say Tankbro can't leave, but he can't leave anyway because he's the host. So it wouldn't matter if he wanted to leave because he couldn't. Can you imagine that if he forgets and just, see ya? There'd be some very angry people. I suppose you'd have all these times here you could work it out, couldn't you? Right, anyone still racing? Well, I mean, Controller Player is kind of racing there. Sorry, fight Timlaw. Oh, very close to Timlaw. There's still a lap and a bit to go. He could very well get his team back into that top 4. He's not got long to do. 1.5 seconds is the gap, but he's looking quite racy at the moment against Cyro Fights. And this is a battle we were watching early on. Very good battle between these two, and we may have it again. Don't know, he's certainly not close enough this lap as they head down Conrod. But if we look at the pace of Timlaw, last lap he's done a couple of 208s, 201.8s, 3 201.8s, 4 201.8s, 201.5 to a whole host of 202s. They've both got pits. They both need to pit for the medium compound tyres. Now, technically, they're not going to be doing a full racing lap on the tyres. Does that count? Isn't there so? Don't you have to do a full racing lap on the medium compound tyres? Or have they come in too early? Have they come in too early? Oh dear. No, he's changing his tyres. I wondered if they'd come in a lap too early. I'm sure that... Can someone confirm for me? Do you have to do a full racing lap on those option tyres? Or can you literally just do that final lap like that? It seems very counterproductive to even bother with the mandatory tyre if you only have to run it for essentially 3/4 of a lap. Right, you can see part 5 is up. Go over there. I no longer want you in my room. Boom, 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 boom. Talking of that, actually, right? I was at doctor's the other day. I digress. On Thursday, and I came out of the doctor's, and this kid, probably about 2.5, 3 years old, was singing that song. Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room, over and over again, and it was driving his mum. His mum was going, "Please stop singing that song. Please stop." That was really funny. And of course, because everyone was laughing, love it. Yeah, go on, leave my room. Go and listen to Jaeger. He's much more interesting. He's got loads more to say. And well, I don't know. Actually, stay here and see if oh, he's caught him. He got out ahead of him anyway. So yeah, he got out ahead of him from the pits, both on the mediums. Timlaw got that job done in the pits, my friend. But sorry if I might have another guy, and I doubt it very much. Wesley and Mornata, that's not going to happen this time. It's going to be down to their teammates to sort that one out, as with Hammers and Mornata. But look at that, Legicide, 22 seconds is the gap. It was 40. So he's given his teammates a real good opportunity as MK in and Controller Player both in for their respective teams to... so yeah, there we go. So Controller Player in now, and they're away. So it's 1 minute 14 seconds. He closed that gap down to quite well. Timlaw comes in. Didn't do a full lap on those, as neither did Craft. There's a battle for Jaeger to have a little talk about. the bomb himself, Wesley. It's not really Dutch name, is it? Is Wesley a Dutch name? I suppose it is, isn't it? There's quite a few footballers called Wesley. It just sounds quite north of England. My mate Wesley from the estate down there in Moorside, Manchester. I don't know why I did that in a Cockney accent when Manchester is clearly nothing like that. And it's probably because I am from London and I can't do any other accents. So Wesley's got, he's on his final lap now. Bambino in the Lexus. Still some racing to do for these guys here. Of many laps. Many laps. So we're still waiting. We've still got, if you're going to hang in there with me, you've still got another 10-12 minutes of the time, to be fair, while these guys finish up. So do feel free to hang around if you want to. But there's Wesley. He is on his final lap, as is Mornata, as is Hammers. Or is Hammers a lap behind? Well, kind of. He's there or thereabouts. He's on his final lap. Now, there we go. He's on his final lap now. I literally just made up his name. The American, fuck yeah, Legicide. Sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. I went to the doctors and you need to get yourself checked. Why? I've got Legicide. You've got what? Legicide. What's that then? I don't know. You gave it to me. Like cock rock. Anyway, moving. I digress. It's been 2 hours of babbling. I just want to be. I really need to pee. To be fair. I could do that now, but I'm not. Anyway, moving swiftly on. That is 3-4 cars from Wesley, Monata, Hammers, and Legicide. Least is on 58 as his hijack. So the top 5 now, all away in lobby 5. If you want to watch that, go and do that. To be fair, there is going to be a bit of a battle between Sarafite team, the DCT, and Timlaw's lot. So go and watch that. It won't be them two fighting out. It'll be someone else. Wesley into the pits. His team will be disappearing off out. I should probably learn. Well, I can't be asked. To be fair, I'm too old to learn new things. They should have it on their names. Like, you know, I'm BFE Urbanpyrate, you know that I'm in Black Flag. Simple as. DCT, Starfight, no, he's in DCT. Tank, bro, I don't know what team he's in. But I know he races for Apex Hunter, but I know he's not racing for them today. But he's in Apex Hunter. The Monata is in. Quite a wide range of nationalities. British. That's not Polish, is it? I don't know what that is. Why don't I know what that is? That's Portuguese, that's American, that's Italian. They're in. Wesley, the Dutchman, he's in. Dalian Monada, he's in. Hammers is in. That's the UK, obviously. 17 seconds back. Legicide. Slipping inside is Legicide. He'll be in his pit box very soon. Hammer's not quite there yet. Mornata's team is there. There is Hammers. Away goes his teammate. Legicide's going to come in. Just looking at the pit crews. There's always like some random dude like standing around doing nothing if you watch it long enough. There we go, he's in, and that's that team away. So, last lap for Yeast, and last lap for Hijack Patty. 25 seconds apart, of course, unless, of course, Yeast makes a mistake soon, but he's nearly at the end of this lap, just a couple of corners left to go. End of the Comrade straight for him in that BMW. Love the look of it. BMW. So there's never really been an ugly BMW apart from that stupid 4x4 thing they do, which is ridiculous piece of shit. But most BMWs look great. Oh, and the little 1 Series stupidity is a big piece of arse, but everything else is lovely. So that's Yeast in. Hijack Patty, he's not long for this racetrack either in the Lexus. Another car that's always looking pretty awesome. I remember when having a Lexus meant you were super rich. For a minute there, I thought he was going to go on and do another lap. It looks like he did brake a little bit too late there, so maybe it was a lastminute.com decision. Yeast SPDR are out in lobby 5. Hijack Patty, he's just coming into the box now. We're just waiting now for Ferrari Pro, who's got a lap of oil. He's got one lap. He's on his final lap. Ferrari Pro, and then the GTMA driver, who is he's got a few laps to go. About 6 minutes left. But you should have left me now. There shouldn't be anyone talking to me now. You should all be watching the action in the next race. So I'm going to shut up as it happens. Oh, getting a bit clashy there at the end of this race. Did you see that? I don't even look at anyone watching now. Is anybody watching? Let's have a look. Oh, there's a few of you out there still. Wave to the lonely herb. Yeah, Ferrari Pro. He's got a couple of corners left and he's done. Unfortunately for GTMA, who's a couple of laps back. He's got some racing to do still in that AMG. That's my favourite. That's my favourite GT3 car, not for driving, just for looking at. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful car. There's nothing about this car that I wouldn't let touch me in a dark alley at night time. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is one of the sexiest things I think I've ever seen. And I've seen women without their clothes on. Not many. Maybe because I talk like this and look like this. But no, it's a beautiful car, absolutely beautiful car. And the irony of this is when this became the safety car for F1, when Aston Martin became the safety car for F1, I was actually gutted because I prefer the AMG. And I know it's counterproductive. If someone to give me a free car, surely you'd rather have the Aston Martin. I wouldn't. I would rather have the AMG. Listen, if I could have the Aston Martin and then sell it and buy the AMG, I would do that. But I would much rather have. I love this car. There's everything about it. The way it sounds, the way it looks, the way I don't know how it smells. I'm just one. To be fair, I probably should go to. There is a place not far from me actually called Romans that sells sporty cars, your Fezzers and your Lambos and your AMGs and the such like. I haven't been there for a long, long time. I was a kid. It just feels weird walking in there and not having any money to buy the car. It's like they know when you're walking in there, you're just in there to touch and to play with. Like the time I went with my many years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I went with my boss to go and buy an Audi Q5, Q8, whatever it was. And I started touching the R8 that was in there, and the guy was looking at me as if to say, "Get your grubby little poor fingers off that car," because they don't like poor people touching rich people's cars. I don't like rich people touching anything of mine. I don't like anybody touching anything of mine, unless it's an AMG. Touch whatever it likes. So Ferrari Pro's in the pits. He's done and dusted. We're going to spend the last knockings of this race. Let's go on board, shall we, in the AMG, and just listen to this guy. He's gone in a lap early. He's gone in a lap too soon. Oh, that's the tyres, maybe. Maybe he needs to run those medium compound tyres. So he's still got another lap to go, despite the fact he's gone in. I'm assuming it is for tyres. He's not just doing it for the fun of it. Oh, he's put fuel on board. Oh, maybe he didn't advertise it. Ah, he's running out of fuel, so that's what he's done. He's put the fuel on board. So everyone else is starting to come out to finish the race. He's just got to make it home now for his teammates to then be able to go. So he's on lap 59. So it's all done and dusted essentially. We are done. We are finished. We will listen to dulcet tones of this car very down. Let's do that. The last few corners. There we go. We are all but done. Just going to wait for Mutalbi to pull into his pit box, and then you can all fuck off. And then come back and see me in about an hour and a bit. So where are we? What's the time now? It's 20 past 6. Come back and see me in an hour and a half. And I will see you all home safely for the final stint of this race. Thank you very much for joining me. I've been Urbanpyrate. This has been the Endurance Racing Federation Bathurst 12-hour stint number 4. You are now in the capable hands of Jaeger. Go away, be gone.